Okay, so this represents volume number 3. Content is going to continue to get better. Y'all just sit tight, relax. I want you to pay close attention to what I'm really teaching you in this video series. Good stuff coming. More good stuff on the way. Sit tight.
Chicken dinner. Be right back. Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance. Had to hold that one all the way to the end. I'll be right back. I got to pick something up off the floor that I dropped. Trying to get my phone out to record this. Y'all sit tight. Cat enjoys watching me trade. Ain't that funny? Hilarious. But anyway, yeah. So I'm just trying to get myself situated here. So I can show you guys what actually just transpired. Let me lean this back some. All right. So anyway, this video represents volume 3 of building the framework. I'm literally building the framework for an at the money approach to trading on NADEX with the 5-minute binary options. You got to understand something about the market. The market is the reason why you'll be successful, and it also is going to be the reason why you will not be successful. In fact, it's more so your understanding of the market or your lack thereof that will determine what your results are going to be. And before I start blabbering off, let me shoot over to the email so we can see that was a winning position. That trade I held until the option expired. When I came on, you guys were looking at the clock counting down. So let me get the email. Hold on. All right, so here's the first part. This was the execution for a sell on the pound. Well, let me go down here. It was a sell. See, the entry price was 50 for the 25.97 strike at 1:55 p.m. Wednesday, January 2nd. And let me get the other part. The settlement email. That was for the entry. Okay, this was for the settlement. 25.97, 155. 25.965 was where the indicative ended. And it was for a sell, so the price had to remain below 25.97, which it did. And then the payout. So, as I'm building a framework, I'm using one contract, of course. Anytime that you're doing any type of building or anything that involves framework that you have not built yet, you need to either do it on a demo account, or if you do it live, use a small number of contracts. Sometimes I might use more than one. It depends on how confident I am in what I'm seeing in the market at the time, to be honest with you. But ultimately, building framework, your ability to do that really has so much to do with your understanding and your interpretation of the market and its behavior. Maybe another opportunity coming up. I'll see. So, the way that you understand and interpret the market has everything to do with the way that you will be able to apply your skill. If you don't know nothing about the market, I don't care what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's in the money, at the money, out the money. You don't understand this market. In other words, understanding how this is moving right here. You understand how that price moves? You got to understand how that moves. That's the reason this number right here is the reason you see the candles doing this. All this green and red you see on the chart is because of price, the market price. These flashing red and blue numbers are the option prices. These option prices are going to correlate to the indicative, the price of the market. So if you don't understand behavior in the market, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You'll end up losing because you cannot withstand what the market does long term. Your long-term strategy has to be something that makes sense in the first place. I'm just watching as I'm talking, seeing what this market is actually doing. Just like, look at the chart. Look at how it looks. Like, how do you make sense out of all of this? How do you make sense out of this? You have to have a very solid understanding of the way that the price of the market moves, the way that it behaves. You have to have a solid understanding of that first. If you don't understand that, nothing else matters. It really doesn't. So, it's the reason why we are successful and will continue to be successful. And like I've said already about this whole at the money thing, this is more difficult than what we currently do. Understand that. This requires more skill. This also requires more patience. So if you think that, you're dealing with the current framework that we're using, which is an in the money approach, and you feel like, oh, well, there's not a lot of trades and this and that, and I miss opportunities. Let me tell you something. If you're trying to explore another approach to the market, especially one where the risk reward on the individual trade is much higher, or at least more even, because it's basically 1-to-1 risk reward if you're able to hold your trades until full profit. Now, you're not always going to be able to do that. Again, it depends on your understanding of the market environment. If you don't know what you're doing, the bottom line is that you're going to lose. Like, that's basically what I'm getting at. If you don't know what you're doing in the market, I ain't talking about binaries. I'm not talking about these. I'm not talking about the binaries that you see. Anybody can trade these. You can buy and sell these all you want to. You can scalp. You can jump in and out. You can do whatever you want to do. The question is why? Why are you doing it? Do you know why you're doing what you're doing? If you don't know, it's because you don't understand the market. Period. So anyway, you guys stay tuned. I'll be continuing to do these little update videos, every time I get an opportunity to do so. You got to remember that I also trade for a living. So in addition to me building framework over here for this at the money, and like I said, even if I do not put this out, the reason that I wanted to do this is just so I have the framework built. So I understand the way that I'm applying the market information to these binaries for this approach. In other words, for at the money, I need to know how I would go about doing it. That's why I'm building this framework. All right. More to come. Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance. Deuces. Y'all take care.